Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we're tackling something that makes a lot of people nervous, but is secretly one of the most powerful tools for success you can possibly have. I'm talking about feedback. Not just getting it, but actively hunting for it. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. Feedback? You mean criticism? And yeah, sometimes it feels that way. Your palms get sweaty, your heart starts to race, and you brace for impact. We've all been there. We pour our heart and soul into a project, a presentation, or even just a new idea, and the thought of someone pointing out its flaws can be tough to swallow. It feels personal. But what if we could flip the script on that? What if, instead of seeing feedback as a judgment on our past performance, we saw it as a roadmap for our future success? That's the mindset shift we're diving into today, moving from a reactive, defensive stance to a proactive, growth-oriented one. Think about it like this. Imagine you're a ship captain navigating a vast, foggy ocean. You have a destination in mind, but your visibility is limited. Now, imagine you have a network of lighthouses and other ships radioing you information. Hey, there's a current pulling you slightly off course. Or, watch out for that reef 2 miles ahead. Would you get angry at them for pointing that out? Of course not. You'd be grateful. You'd adjust your course, thank them, and sail on, safer and more efficiently than before. That's what proactive feedback seeking is. It's you, the captain of your own career and personal development, actively asking, "Hey, how's my course? Any reefs I'm not seeing?" This isn't about weakness, it's about strength. It shows you are confident enough to know you do not know everything and smart enough to leverage the knowledge of those around you. So, why don't more people do this? Fear is a big one. Fear of looking incompetent, fear of hearing something we don't want to hear, fear of rejection. We build up this narrative in our heads that asking for feedback is like admitting we've already failed. But the reality is the exact opposite. The most successful people I know, the leaders and innovators we all admire, are relentless feedback seekers. They're constantly asking, how can this be better? What am I missing? Let's break down how to actually do this, because it's not just about walking up to someone and saying, "Hey, critique me." There's an art to it. First, you need to choose the right people. Don't just ask your best friend who will tell you everything is amazing. You need a trusted circle of advisors. This could be a mentor, a respected colleague, a manager, or even a peer who you know has a sharp eye and will be honest with you. Look for people whose opinions you genuinely value and who have your best interests at heart. Second, be specific with your request. A vague question like, "What do you think?" often gets a vague answer like, "It was good." That's not helpful. Try being much more targeted. For example, instead of asking for feedback on a whole presentation, you could ask, "During the Q&A section, did my answers feel clear and confident? Or was there a point where I seemed unsure?" Or for a project report, "Can you look at the executive summary? Does it effectively capture the key takeaways in under a minute?" Specific questions lead to specific, actionable advice. Third, and this is crucial, is timing. Don't wait until a project is completely finished and set in stone to ask for feedback. That's like asking for directions after you've already arrived at the wrong destination. Seek feedback early and often. Ask for input on the outline, the first draft, the prototype. This allows you to make corrections along the way, when they're much easier and less costly to implement. It transforms feedback from a final judgment into a collaborative part of the creation process. Okay, so you've asked the right person, the right question, at the right time. Now comes the hardest part, receiving the feedback. Your initial gut reaction might be to get defensive, to explain why you did something a certain way. "Oh, well, the reason I did that was because..." My advice? Resist that urge. Just listen. Truly listen. Take notes. Ask clarifying questions to make sure you understand, like, "So, when you say the intro was a bit slow, do you mean the pacing of my speech or the content itself? Your only job in that moment is to absorb the information. You don't have to agree with everything, and you certainly don't have to implement every single suggestion. But you do have to listen with an open mind. Remember, this is a gift. Someone is taking their time and energy to give you a perspective you don't have. After the conversation, take some time to process. Look for patterns. If one person tells you your report is too long, it might just be their opinion. But if 3 different people give you the same feedback, that's a pretty strong signal you should probably shorten it. Separate the valuable insights from the noise. The goal isn't to please everyone. It's to gather data to make a more informed decision about how to improve. And finally, a step that most people forget but is incredibly important: close the loop. Go back to the person who gave you the feedback and thank them. Better yet, show them how you use their advice. Hey, thanks again for that suggestion on the presentation intro. I reworked it to start with a surprising statistic like you mentioned, and it really grabbed the room's attention. I appreciate you. This does 2 amazing things. 1, it makes the person feel valued and appreciated. And 2, it makes them far more likely to give you honest, helpful feedback in the future. You're training them that their advice is not going into a black hole. You're building a powerful alliance for your own growth. Adopting this proactive approach is a game changer. It shifts your entire professional dynamic. You're no longer just an employee waiting for your annual performance review. You become an active driver of your own development. You build stronger relationships with your colleagues. You produce higher quality work, and you accelerate your learning curve exponentially. Think about the alternative: waiting for things to go wrong. Waiting for a project to fail. Waiting for that dreaded annual review where you get blindsided by criticism from 6 months ago that you can't even remember. That reactive mode is stressful and inefficient. Proactively seeking feedback puts you in the driver's seat. It's about playing offense, not defense. Start small. This week, identify one specific thing you're working on. It could be an email, a small part of a project, or how you run a meeting. Pick one trusted colleague and ask for their specific feedback. Try it. See how it feels. It might be a little uncomfortable at first, but I promise, the more you do it, the easier it gets. It becomes a habit, a superpower that will set you apart in everything you do. You are the architect of your own growth. Don't wait for others to hand you the blueprints. Go out and ask for them. Thank you so much for tuning in today. I hope this gives you a new perspective on feedback and the confidence to start seeking it out. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next video. I'd love to hear your own experiences with feedback in the comments below. See you in the next one.